So what we're going to look at today is how we find the tissues and the cells to discuss in our assignment. To start with, I know that one of my main focus points is linking structure and function. Don't know why I'm pointing at the screen, you can't see that. So I'm just Googling tissue structure and function. And best thing to do from here is to just have a look at some of the sites. If it's a Quizlet site, I'm probably not going to go there. This one's a PDF. I might have a look at that one. But as I go down, I check what are the websites like. Ivy Roses. Sounds a bit funny. I might have a look later. But what I can then start to look, and then I just read cell differentiation in tissue, source of new cells for tissues, stem cells. There's our cell division. This really isn't helping me much so far. I'm just skimming through. So I might have a look elsewhere. Classification of tissues. This could help me. I look my epithelium tissues. I know if I have those, right, it lines and covers surfaces. Muscular tissue produces movement. So just by looking at this information, it might go towards helping me explain what things look like. So these are matching my structure and function. So this looks like a really good website for getting that information. So if I know here I've got this villi, singular villus, finger-like projections that arise from the epithelial layer in some organs. They help to increase surface area, allowing for faster and more efficient absorption. So straight away, I've got a marry up there of my structure and function. What are they doing? They're increasing surface area. Why are they doing it? For faster and more efficient absorption. So if I go, when I find out my tissue, if I've got the epithelial tissue with the villi, happy days, right? I've got information there. So I'll just store that one. What I'm going to do though is, because I saw down here a couple of tables, issues, tissue structure and function. I'm looking at some of the images. So I've just spoken about epithelial tissue, and so I can look here. Columnar epithelium, right? Structure, function. This is exactly what I want. Exactly what I want. What's the structure? Well, they're tall, pillar or column-like cells with a nucleus towards the basement. Where is it? Lining of the stomach, lining the intestine and gallbladder. So if I'm doing the digestive system, this is where I'm going. There's the function. So all of these things, this is my way of finding out, okay, what tissue should I be finding? Other things I could do, so once I've done that, I then start looking at, okay, where in the digestive system do I have columnar epithelium? I'm on mute. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Oh, it's all right. I'll keep going. Sound's on mute. You've stuffed everything. I think it's the sound, not the microphone. The green thing. Anyway. Second thing that I did though is when I go to cells. So that's sort of how you're looking at the tissue. So one way of doing it, finding out, okay, what are the tissues? You can do the same thing for cells. But especially, hands up, who's doing renal or urinary system? Renal or urinary, bladder, kidneys. No one? That's a shame because this is going to give you a heap of answers. I've Googled specific cells in the renal system. Now, I've gone to this one. And this is just now, a lot of this, I'm looking through and a lot of these words that I don't know. Podocytes, I wouldn't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Particularly fascinating because many researchers, blah, 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 kidney patients lose these cells. Cells look rather like hairy creature with long appendages called foot processes. All right? So I can look at that, and this is where you've got to be smart. You look at that and they're saying it's got a specific structure there. This is what you're after. So now I'm going to start Googling podocytes, structure and function. I go through and I select some of those ones. I'm just opening a new tab. It's fine to open it in Wikipedia to start with. All right? So what's a podocyte in Wikipedia? Because it'll give you a bit of an overview. Long processes, foot processes. There's my picture. All right? What is it? Oh, it's filtering the blood. And so the more I look at this, and there's lots of weird words and big words that you won't understand, but the more I go through, here's an abstract. Basically, by reading this stuff, what I work out is that podocytes are integral in the filtering of the blood. And then when I then go, okay, it keeps talking about those things, those foot processes. So then I start Googling that. Foot processes in cells. What the hell is that? All right. So blood is filtered through the slit diaphragm, filtration slit between the feet or feet processes. So I can work out that basically what those foot processes are doing is they're sticking in next to each other, and so it's limiting the amount of blood that can get through. Isn't that what a filter does? So it blocks some of the stuff and lets the other stuff through. So just by looking through those few sites, I've started with specific cells in the renal system. I've read a few of the websites and I found out, okay, podocytes, they're my specific cells. Then I start going, well, what does a podocyte do? Right? Podocytes are the ones that help filter the blood. Then I sit there and go, okay, what's the structure like? Well, it's got those foot processes. Okay, what's a foot process? So that's my chain of research. Now I have enough information to say, well, one of my specific cells is a podocyte cell. The structure of a podocyte cell is blah, 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 with these foot processes. The purpose of the podocyte cell is to help filter the blood. How does the structure help? Well, these foot processes align with other podocyte cells so that it creates a slit, they were calling it, to allow the blood through whilst trapping other stuff that it needs to trap. That's all the information I need for my assignment. So I've got no idea if that